I'm Erin McGuire, owner of Pure Light Wellness, and today I wanted to give you a video and a podcast on the subconscious mind. So why do I want to do that? Because I have a lot of people that come to me. They have these ideas that they want to change different aspects of themselves or set these goals that they have for themselves, and yet sometimes we're wondering, why are things not changing? I'm reading the books, I'm doing the things, I'm saying the mantras, why is my life still staying the same? So I'm going to break that down for you right now. The reason behind this is because you have two minds that you're dealing with, not just one. There's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, and they're very different from each other. The conscious mind actually learns creatively. So the conscious mind is the part of our mind where we can sit there and say, I am healthy, I am making a change in my life. I am worthy. I am good enough. And that's the part that it learns from that. It can understand a self-help book and learn to process it. So that's how it learns. The conscious mind we use about 5% of our day, and it actually processes information much more slowly versus the subconscious mind, which learns through habit. So it's the habitual mind. It's what we continually do. It processes information at 40 million bits per second. That means taking in all the information from the environment around you. It's processing all of that. 40 million bits per second. And it's what's active about 95 to 99% of your day. So it's the mind that when you drive your car to work and you get there and you wonder, I don't even remember my drive. Your subconscious mind was actually driving the wheel of your car at that point. It's the part of our brain that likes to be on autopilot, and it just kind of wants to be in that same old rhythm and that same old habit and pattern. So you might be thinking, that's a wonderful lesson about my brain, Erin, but why are you telling me this? And let me tell you the reason why. Because if you want to change anything in your life, from being less reactive to the people around you, to changing your diet, or maybe attracting the love of your life, if you want to change literally anything in your life, you have to understand these two minds and how they work together and how to access the subconscious mind, because that's where all the programs are stored. And it's not as easy to access, to be reprogrammed at just any part of your day. There's two specific times where you can really get in there and access the subconscious and therefore reprogram it. So let's talk more about this now. Let's say that you've been drinking a lot of soda and your doctor tells you you gotta cut back. Maybe you've known that internally, I need to cut back on the soda. And so you're like, fine, doctor tells me I need to cut back on soda. I'm done. I'm not gonna drink it anymore. I don't need it. I wanna be healthy. I like how I feel when I'm not consuming so much sugar. And so you're all positive about it. And then a day later, you find yourself with a Coke in your hand. And you're sitting there like, why am I doing this? I've told myself I don't need this. I said I don't want this, but yet here I am. So why are you doing that, right? Well, remember the statistics from above. You're trying to change you're trying to override the most powerful part of your mind with the smaller part of your mind, which is the conscious. It's only 5%. It processes information much more slowly. And you're trying to reprogram that subconscious with a few simple phrases that you're saying with your conscious mind. It's just not going to work. So what will work, you're asking, right? How can you expect to override this superpower in your brain with just a few positive affirmations? So you really can't. Let's give you a little more of some information about the subconscious. It's like a mental recorder, and it recorded the first 7 years of childhood while your brain was in a theta brainwave hypnotic state. So all those informations all the information and traumas and good things and programs and beliefs of your parents and grandparents and the people around you all got programmed into that subconscious mind up to age 7. So we needed that mental software to understand how to be in our world, right? How our what the language was, what the social norms were of our families, how to communicate, and what was expected of us from our caregivers. We didn't get to consciously choose what beliefs and behaviors we wanted to adopt. They got chosen for us. So we watched our parents do certain things. We watched our parents say certain things. We heard mantras that our parents were saying. Maybe it was, I'm broke. Maybe it was, I'll never be healthy. Maybe it was, I'm not good enough. We learned these beliefs and programs that we have now from those caregivers and from our early childhood experiences. To really make change, you must access the subconscious mind directly. Remember, most of what the subconscious is just a recorded program. So from the first 7 years of your life, you don't even realize those outdated programs are still running. So you sabotage your success of what you want in life again and again because of these unconscious programs. I love the quote from Carl Jung, who is an analytical psychologist. And he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So again, until we learn to bring the unconscious stuff that's in our subconscious to the forefront of our mind, the conscious mind, it's going to continue to run our life. We're going to try different things to change, and it's not going to work. So the good news is I'm going to give you some techniques below, if you keep watching this video, to help you rewire your subconscious starting today. And the key to reprogramming and rewiring the subconscious is repetition. So you can't just do this once, guys, and hope that it's going to work and hope for the best. You got to commit to this. A really great time frame to commit to anything is 30 to 40 days. So just decide, I'm going to try this for 30 or 40 days. If it doesn't work, then I can move on with my life and try something else. But my promise to you is that you're going to see some sort of change in your life from doing this consistently every day for 30 to 40 days. So in other words, your life does not reflect what you want it to reflect. It reflects the programs you were given. Okay, so we don't want that anymore for you. All right, here's your first exercise on how to make the unconscious conscious. You might want to pause the video, pull out a pen and paper to take some notes, but I'm also going to leave you a link below on how to get a form that I've created for this very exercise delivered right to your inbox. So let's begin. The first way we make the unconscious conscious is by understanding that we've got to take some time to study ourselves. In yoga, in Sanskrit, we call this svadhyaya. I'm going to take a sip of water because that word's a mouthful. Svadhyaya. It means self-study. And this is the way that we start to pay attention to our behaviors and our patterns and our triggers and start to change them around. So maybe you've noticed that you snapped at your partner and that made you feel really bad about yourself and you started to feel really guilty, and that's how we create this whole pattern, right? We have a behavior that we don't like, but it just kind of happens almost unconsciously, right? Your partner says something to you, you snap, then later you sit and process about how bad you feel. Why did I do that? I hate myself. And it's this whole cycle that's a terrible cycle. And we're doing this all the time. Shame and guilt come along with that, and they're extremely debilitating feelings that really lower your vibration and really deplete your energy and can affect your health. I've seen it time and time again. So we didn't learn these patterns and these triggers as children. When we were babies, you didn't, snap at people for different things that they did. You may have cried, right, and gotten angry because you weren't getting fed right away, but when you were a baby, you didn't feel not good enough. You didn't have those kinds of experiences. You didn't have those stories built up. So This stuff comes later in life from our programming, right? So if you can look at why you snapped at your partner, if you can sit down and write some things out and try to understand yourself better, it's going to help your situation. So let's use that as an example. Let's use that as an example. Let's say that you snapped at your partner and now you're feeling bad about that. So this is where I want you to sit down, take out a pen and paper, write out the behavior at the top that you want to change, so snapping at my partner, and then explain why, because that didn't make me feel good. I don't like that I do that. I'm trying to figure out why I'm doing this, right? I'm ready to shift this behavior. So as you're sitting there thinking about that behavior, don't go looking for it, but just notice, just maybe close your eyes and notice, does a certain memory pop up from your past? Do you remember a parent doing that behavior to you, or an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend? Sit and think about that behavior and just notice if any memories pop up. If they do, just jot them down. Maybe you made a connection to this current behavior and something from your past, and maybe not, and it's totally okay if you didn't. Then on step number 2, you want to write a new statement that's going to support the new behavior that you do want. So the new behavior is probably you want to stop snapping at the people around you or stop reacting to them. You could say a statement something like, I'm working on being less reactive to my partner. I'm allowing myself to be more at peace. I no longer need to control others in order to feel safe. Or just, I no longer need to control other people. Because that's essentially what we're trying to do when we're snapping at other people. We're trying to control them in some way. The third step here is, now you want to write how you'll be able to practice these new statements in your day-to-day life. For instance, if I feel like I need to react to something my partner is doing, I'll remind myself that this is just an old pattern, and I will instead think of something I appreciate about my partner. Now, I know this is tricky because when they're doing something that irritates you, it's probably the last thing you want to think about. But if you're trying to reprogram your mind, if you're trying to bring the unconscious conscious, and these things are coming up, you want to find a way to think of something that's going to be more positive about that person. Because what happens is we can get into real ruts where we're just looking at the things that are wrong with the people around us. We're forgetting to think about what we do appreciate about them. So it's just one exercise. You can change that mantra to be whatever you want it to be. Focus on what works for you. Now, the key to this is you're not going to be perfect at this. Just because you did this exercise doesn't mean you're never going to snap at your partner again. But the point being, when we start to make the unconscious conscious and we bring our awareness to it, it's going to be more in your face and you'll be able to catch yourself. The more you do the practice, the more you're going to catch yourself. So I encourage you to do this every day, focusing on one behavior, again, for like 30 days, or focus on one behavior for a week, and then you can change to a different behavior. But just work on one at a time. Otherwise, it's too many things for our subconscious to process. We really want to be really clear and really bring a lot of awareness to just one at a time. Okay, the second thing here is the most important way to reprogram the subconscious is to get in there when the subconscious is most available. So the best times to reprogram are right when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed. Why is that? Because right between sleeping and waking, we move into a theta brainwave state. So we move from delta, which is deep sleep, into theta, which is more a hypnotic, creative, and imaginative state where we can easily program, into alpha, which is kind of more meditative, quiet, and then throughout our day, we're in a beta brainwave. Similarly, when we're going to sleep, we're moving from beta to alpha, and then into theta, and then finally into delta, our deep sleep. So the theta times are when we can get in there and reprogram the subconscious the easiest. And so what I recommend doing is taking your little earbuds, plugging them into your ears, plugging your headset into your smartphone, and recording yourself speaking out about 10 mantras that are based around that behavior you want to change. So if it's eating healthy, we're switching behaviors now from snapping at your partner to eating healthy. You'd record yourself saying things like, I'm enjoying trying new foods that make me feel good. I love eating well for my body. I no longer need sugar, gluten, dairy, or whatever your thing is you're wanting to get rid of. I no longer need that. I love my healthy, radiant skin. I love my balanced energy. I sleep so soundly now because of my new eating habits, and so on. So you're recording yourself saying about 10 of those different beliefs based around that behavior you're trying to change. And you're going to listen to that first thing in the morning and first right when you're going to bed. Not when you're getting ready to go to bed, but when you're in bed, like about to go to sleep. You put that in. It's just going to be about 1 minute to 2 minutes long. So this doesn't have to take a lot of time. And you record that. And then you listen to that. And it's going to, over time, again, repetition changes the subconscious. You can't just do this one day and hope for the best. We're committed now to 30 days of doing these 2 practices to deeply help reprogram the subconscious mind. So the third and final thing, the work that I do in my coaching practice and my energy wellness practice is in clearing these limiting beliefs in the subconscious. So I also train coaches how to do this. So if you want more individualized help, we have some group programs that you can do that involve the subconscious clearing, as well as private coaching with myself and my coaches. We're going to leave links to all of that below this video, as well as a recorded subconscious mantras you can listen to if you want to hear my voice versus doing it yourself. So I'll record some mantras for you to say that'll help you get into that really good space to start clearing the subconscious mind. And the form for the questions that we talked about earlier in this video. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and leave a comment below. Let us know how this exercise worked for you. Subscribe to my channel, and again, stay connected to this community. We're going to be growing and expanding and bringing lots of videos around the mindset, health, wellness, and just really being inspired and motivated to create the change in your life that you've been wanting to see. So I would love to hear from you. Again, please leave a comment below and let us know how this works. And we hope to see you again really soon.